sure. Okay. Awesome. All right. Hello. Today we are doing a client interview here with my client, Tina. Tina, can you introduce yourself? Let everybody know what you do for a living and just a little bit about yourself.
Okay, well, I'm Tina. I am from Perryville, Missouri, which is about an hour and a half south of St. Louis. I work in a major manufacturing facility, which everyone would know if they heard it. I didn't know if I should say it or not. So anyway, but I have pretty much a desk job. So I sit behind a computer most of the day. So pretty sedentary there. My husband and I have a stepdaughter who's 27. I have a 3.5-year-old grandson who keeps us on our toes. So we're constantly moving, and a new thing is playing football. We play a lot of football. So other than that, that's about it. I turned 50 this year, so it was a big milestone.
Yeah, 50 is a perfect age to start taking care of yourself.
That is true. I needed to make some changes, and I thought this is the year to do it.
Awesome. So where was your health prior to starting together?
Well, if we go way back, I was overweight, considerably overweight most of my life until my mid to late 20s. And then I started to run. And so from about 27 until about 47, that's all I did was run. And so in that time, the late 20s, I lost about 80 pounds. And then all I did was run. And that was fine for about 20 years. It maintained my weight. Didn't really love it, but it was a good way to maintain my weight. I was healthy. It was all good until I turned about 47. And then I started having a lot of running issues, a lot of running pain, a lot of injuries. I spent a lot of time in physical therapy trying to work all that out. And it just got to the point where this is not working. I'm not going to do it anymore. So I tried to make up for it with elliptical, rowing, bicycling, and just doing all cardio, because that's all I knew. That's all I'd ever done for 20 years. And it worked for me, in my 20s and 30s. Quickly wasn't working anymore. I was exhausted all the time. I didn't sleep well. When I did sleep, I was always in some kind of pain in bed. It just wasn't working. So, I talked to my doctors, and they were like, oh, well, that's just common for a woman your age. It's just common. And I'm like, I don't believe that. I don't think that's right. And so that's where I was up until about a month and a half ago.
Awesome. Yeah, that's not right. I'm so happy you went through with, advocating for yourself and really just like knowing that doesn't sound quite right. I mean, people age very gracefully, so not everybody has aches and pains once they take care of their health, prioritize their internal health.
Yeah. I mean, my doctors, they all ran all the blood tests, and all the blood tests were great, and they were perfect. And, because I wasn't really overweight. I had gained about 10 to 15 pounds, but I wasn't overweight like I was before. And so all the tests came back, and they were like, well, that's just normal for one your age. And I'm like, well, I don't want to spend the next 40 years feeling like this. I've got to do something different.
Yeah. Awesome. Now, how was your health affecting your life as a whole previously before we started? So you had aches and pains. Was it like an all the time kind of thing? And from how you were feeling then to how you're currently feeling now, how much of a difference is it? And what kind of a difference?
Before, I never got a full night's sleep because I was always, and it was weird pain, it was like my hands would hurt or my elbows would hurt, or, it was just a constant pain. So I never got a good night's sleep, and I never felt rested. I would, and I used to be the girl that I would get up at 4 or 5 o'clock in the morning on a weekend, and I'd go for a run, or I'd beat my husband out of bed, and, I'd have breakfast cooking before anybody else got up. That was me. But the last 3 or 4 years, that wasn't me. I couldn't get out of bed. My husband at 8 o'clock is like, come on, you got to get up. You've been in bed. And I didn't want to go anywhere in the evenings, even on a weekend. It's like, and if we did, it's like, I want to go home. I'm tired. I want to go to bed. I'm tired. And I was taking naps all the time, which there's nothing wrong with naps. I love a good nap, but I was taking a lot of naps. And so that just wasn't working for me. And so now, a month and a half into this first weekend in years that I was up at 5 a.m., 6 a.m., beat my husband up, got my workouts in, felt good, didn't feel like I had to take a nap halfway through Saturday and Sunday. I'm amazed at how much energy I have, how much better I feel. I don't have the aches and pains when I'm sleeping. I can sleep the whole night through. This weekend was just amazing for me because I just couldn't believe I'm waking up at 5 or 6 o'clock in the morning. And it's not because I'm in pain or because I have to. I mean, I can make myself get up. That's not a problem. But I felt rested. I was ready to get up and move on with my day.
Love that. Yeah.
It was just a really eye-awakening. I mean, just like, holy cow, this is more than just trying to, lose a few pounds. This is really changing my lifestyle.
Yeah, absolutely. When you're well rested, that is my absolute favorite thing. I mean, not even needing a nap, but like if you want to take one casually, I mean, go right ahead, but like not the need for it.
Yeah, I love a good, but I didn't need one. I mean, I was ready to take on the whole day, and I can keep up with my 3.5-year-old grandson and play, like I said, play football all day long. That's all he wants to play.
I love
and so we that, and I'm not tired, and I don't have to take a nap when he takes a nap.
that is awesome. That's great progress. See, that's an awesome measure of progress too, is how well your sleep is. And if you feel well rested, that's awesome. So now you're not missing out on like life activities, like playing with your grandson. You don't need those breaks or those naps or anything like that.
It's just, it's just crazy. I mean, even my husband has noticed, and he's been great through this, this month and a half. Even before, he was fantastic. He knew I was tired. He knew there was something wrong, and he didn't push. He didn't, he wasn't rude about it or anything, but he's even noticed. It's like, hey, I'm ready. Let's go do something. Let's go out and do something and not just sit here and watch TV. So
That's awesome. Yeah, being more active. And yeah, it sounds like you've changed a lot in your life. Now, what do you think has been most helpful from the program that led you to your success? So, a little bit of a background here on Tina. She is down about 7 or 8 pounds in a month and a half. Oh, I think it's about 7 pounds in a month and a half. Your sleep has improved. Seems like maybe your mood has improved too, and your quality of life. What do you think has been the most helpful from the program that led you to that type of success?
I think I'm not doing the hour or hour plus cardio that I was doing before, because that was just, I honestly believe now it was tearing my body apart. I mean, the running did it. I mean, it took me many doctor's visits and many times in physical therapy to realize, hey, I'm done with running. And so I substituted, elliptical and the bike, which is easier or friendlier, I guess, on your joints. But it was still, doing an hour plus was just wearing on my joints, was wearing on my body. I was not excited to get up and go do a workout. It's like, oh, let's go get this over with. I honestly believe that that's what it was the cardio. And now you've got me doing 3 short sessions of cardio along with my 10,000 steps. And I mean, some of it is still hard. I mean, the elliptical is still hard, but it's 25 minutes and I'm done and I move on with my day. It's not an hour or an hour more, because before that's what they teach us. That's what they teach us women, is like, hey, move more, do more cardio, eat less, move more. And the food, nothing is off limits as long as we track it. And so I haven't missed out on anything. I've had pizza, I've had wings, now I haven't picked up alcohol in the month and a half, but I haven't missed. I was never a big drinker anyway. So that was not a big deal, but I've managed it in there. But the big thing was the protein. I always did carbs because I was a runner. That's what you heard. Eat carbs, you need carbs, you need carbs to run. So that's what I was that's what I was doing. My nieces would tell me, one's a nurse and one's a nurse practitioner, like, you need more protein, not so many carbs. And I was like, oh, no, no, no. I've been doing this for 20 years. I know what I'm doing. Obviously that was not right. So, between the diet and just not doing so much cardio, I just think my body's had time to kind of repair itself. And
Absolutely.
doctor, but that's just the way I feel.
Yeah, no, that is so true. Protein is a huge macronutrient that, like, for someone who doesn't even track their food, not everybody needs to track their food. I have certain individuals who don't track their food and they use a plate method. But protein is the biggest macronutrient that I have everybody paying attention to, because it's such like something that's so just like overlooked. You know what I mean? Like, as someone who is a runner, for example, you're always told carbs, carbs, carbs. Yes, carbs are super important to replenish like the lost glycogen from, your long runs and things like that. But also protein is so important for just overall everything. Protein is a huge macronutrient that everyone, male and female, do need. And like, as a female, sometimes we're just like, oh, we don't need that much, but you kind of need a moderate amount. You don't need a lot, but like you need a moderate amount. So yeah.
And I grew up, like, I like for breakfast, I like oatmeal, and I'm like, the old carb kind of stuff, but I found substitutions for that, that are high in protein. So I can still have especially on these cold mornings now, I can still have my protein, my oatmeal with protein in it. And so I'm not missing out on anything really.
Yeah.
And I'm definitely not hour cardio.
Oh my gosh, that's so taxing on your body. Your body was like screaming for help once your joints and everything started to get achy. I'm glad you picked up on that because yeah,
It took a while, but that's what they teach us. I mean, do cardio, eat less, and keep eating less. And, and the other thing is the scale is, we've had this talk about the scale, because that's what they teach us as young girls, is the scale. I mean, they weighed us in school all the time, and it was always eat less, move more, weigh yourself. And so for me to get away from that scale mentality is hard for me.
Yeah, it is. But as you know, you've made significant progress since we've started, and the scale is not the sole focus. So I'm so happy you're not like so focused on it. You've grown so much since only a month and a half we've been together. So I'm really excited to see like where we continue to grow from here moving forward. Now, were you skeptical at all about joining the team?
Oh, I was scared to death when, we had our initial talk, and I said that I wasn't going, I was like, I can't do an hour plus of cardio anymore. I can't do that. And so I was scared to death that this was not going to work. But once we got started and I saw, well, there goes a pound, and well, look, there's another pound. And I'm glad I took my niece's advice. She's like, hey, make sure you do the measurements. I didn't, and I wish I had. And so I started off with the measurements. And so when the scale stopped moving and I could still look at those measurements, and I'm like, okay, I'm still getting smaller. But no, I was a huge skeptic at first, but I was like, I've got to do something different. I can't keep doing what I'm doing because it's not working, one, and I'm in pain too. So what do I have to lose?
Yeah.
I've already weight doing what I'm doing. So if I gain a couple of more pounds, then that's just the way it's going to be.
Oh, yeah. Awesome. I'm so happy that you did decide to join though and got you out of that hour cardio a day. Props to you. That hurts my soul.
It hurt. Well, I'm just, I don't know. I'm just so happy now that I'm not doing that every day. It's a huge change in my attitude and everything.
Yeah, I see you wake up so early to get your training in, and it just looks like you are always off to such a great day in the mornings because you always send me your training videos and it's like so early in the morning. And it's always so nice to see you have so much energy, and I love it. I love it.
Well, I have more energy than I've had in a long time. And I've always been, I'm not a late night girl. I've always been an early riser. I grew up on a farm. We had to get up early. So getting up early is not a problem for me. Well, it was when I was doing an hour of cardio. It was like, oh, I need to sleep longer, but I knew I had to get up and go to work. And if I was going to get workout in, it had to be before work because it's probably not going to happen when I get home. But yeah, I mean, just now getting up and doing my, the weights may take 45 minutes and it just, and it's a such more enjoyable 45 minutes than an hour on the elliptical or an hour on the bike. It's so much better just, doing the weights or if I have to do the 25 minutes of cardio, it's, that's a whole lot better than the hour ago. And I'm seeing the results. So
yeah, that's awesome. Who would you say like the program is for?
I think it's for anybody, but especially women my age who have been told, hey, this is the way it is for women who are 50 years old, perimenopausal, menopausal women. Like I said, I have two very good doctors and they were just like, well, that's just the way it is, sorry, just, you're going to have to learn to deal with it. And I'm like, no, that's not right. I don't believe that. So I think it's good for anybody, whether, a girl is 20 or young lady that's 20 or somebody that's 50, 60. I'm talking to a lady at work who's on the fence about joining and because she thinks she's too old. And I'm like, you are not too old. I'm like, you are never too old to make a change. Like I said, I turned 50 this year and I'm like, this is the year I'm going to do something. So I was looking around on the internet. I was looking, Facebook, Instagram. I think that's where I came across Jen's page was on Instagram and they just kind of led from one thing to another. And here I am. And I couldn't be happier where I'm at right now.
Oh, I'm so happy. Awesome. Now, aside from you're never too old to start, what is one piece of advice you would have someone who's hesitant to start their fitness journey? Do you have anything else to add or?
Well, not never too late to start. I mean, and don't wait. I could have waited till after the holidays, but I'm like, why? That's 2 more months that, I had time to put weight or more fat on or whatever. And it's like, what do you have to lose to try something else? Because obviously some of the older stuff's not working. The stuff that I was told as in my 20s and my 30s was not working. Let's try something else, and women are always so scared about bulking up or whatever. Well, we all know that that's false, that, you can't really do that. But it's just, it's never too late. So just go and start something new, whether it's this program or something else. It's, don't put your life on hold like I did for the last 3 years, just thinking, well, my doctor's telling me this is the way it's going to be. Try something different.
Yeah, that's beautiful. Yeah, I'm so excited for you to see your doctor next and to chat about the progress that you've made and how you're feeling. Well, I'm going to go ahead and wrap this up. Thank you so much for hopping on here and doing the interview with me and speaking to a lot of, I'm sure, other women who are in your position as well. So thank you so much.
Oh, you're welcome. It was my pleasure. I'm excited. I'm just so excited about the whole program. So I just want everybody else to be excited too.